Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is happening, family? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real, so please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Family, on today's conversation, man, I'm so honored to have one of the greats, NBA legend Joe Smith, will be joining the conversation today. We're going to have a great in-depth convo. As I mentioned to you all before, I was honored to be in attendance to his most recent Community Day event that was held in Virginia Beach, Virginia, over at a local middle school, Salem Middle School, and it was dope. It was awesome. We had a great conversation. I got to have some quick convos with the NBA great himself, alongside some of the local elected officials in the city of Virginia Beach. And it was just had an awesome time. But I'm even more honored to have more of a long conversation with Mr. Smith. And for those who are not familiar with him, y'all living under a rock. First of all, 1995, first overall pick in the NBA draft. So, you know, I normally love to do a quick fun fact, and I'm going to start this really early because I normally will do the fun fact after the commercial break, but because I want to have as much time as I can with Mr. Smith, let me go and share you this quick fun fact. You know, here we love to start that off of our show, just to kind of, you know, before we get into our headlines. So today's fun fact: did you know that there has been only two players that came out of the University of Maryland that have been drafted at number one pick, overall pick in the NBA draft? Only two. Those two individuals is Mr. John Lucas, who was chosen first overall by the Houston Rockets in 1976, and that second gentleman happens to be joining the conversation. That's Mr. Joe Smith, who was selected first overall by the Golden State Warriors in 1995 in the NBA draft. First of all, can I just brag on the year 1995 was such a wonderful year. Why? Because yours truly was brought into this earth. What a great year it was. Oh my goodness. 1995 was beautiful. Yes, it was. But but you know what? It's even more exciting again because Mr. Joe Smith had one of an historic career, 16 years in the NBA. Look, he's had some ups and downs post then, but guess what? He's sharing his testimony, helping the up and coming, and he's doing so many great things, man. And that's what we always love to hear, and that's the narrative that we want to keep on pushing, right? Because we always hear about, hey, look, if you fall 7 times, look, get up 8 times. You should never, ever give up or let anything take you down. Continue to pursue, continue to progress, and you don't know who's watching, because you could be helping those individuals in need that, because everybody's watching. My pops used to tell me, this was when I was playing high school football. He always said the eye in the sky don't lie. And I'm like, what you mean by that? What he really meant was when they record in practice or recording that game, you can't lie about say, hey, you missed this tackle, you missed this. He said the eye in the sky don't lie. But I also use that to say, hey, look, you never know who's watching, right? I kind of took that further on. I'm like, you never know who's watching. So, we see a lot of these, influencers or public figures acting a fool out in the public, man. And it's like they think that they untouchable, but yet again, it will hit them. I'm like, y'all, we have to learn from this, man. The eye in the sky don't lie. So long story short, y'all in store for a great conversation. Again, you are tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your host, your friend, Arrington Gavin. I want to shout out all those who are tuning into us, who happen to be streaming us by way of YouTube, Rumble, or you happen to be streaming us on GOATverse TV. That's right, family, GOATverse TV. If you haven't downloaded the app, please do so. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire. You can also listen to us on multiple podcast platforms. We're available on all major podcast platforms. I want to shout out our listeners in the New Orleans area by way of WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that is WBOK 12:30 a.m. And then lastly, I want to also shout out our listeners in the Metro Atlanta area. Listen to us by way of WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Friday, weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And before we head to a commercial break, I do have to acknowledge of our social media platforms for those who are watching, those who are listening. If you are familiar, if you're on social media like that and you haven't followed us, shame on you. You need to, because look, it's always hard to keep the conversation, within 1 hour, right? Because once you're talking, you have fun. Then it's like, man, look at the time. So look, we extend the conversation on our social media platforms. So the Arrington Gavin Show on Instagram, Blue Sky, X, as well as Substack. You can subscribe to our Substack page where we get to, again, extend the conversation. All right, family, look, do not go anywhere because we got a lot more. We got a great show for you. I hope y'all are ready for it. Look, do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GOATverse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GOATverse TV.
GOATverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In GOATs, we trust.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
What is going on, family? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. As I mentioned before, tonight we are honored to have a very special guest. We welcome a man who knows the highs of being the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft and also the lows of almost losing it all. Mr. Smith, as I mentioned earlier, was selected first overall pick in the 1995 NBA draft, went to play 16 years in the National Basketball Association. But like many, life after basketball brought some unexpected challenges. But obviously he's now continuing to prove that challenge is not gonna stop his shine, his rise, his game. Now he is rewriting his story as the founder of the Joe Smith Basketball Academy, where he is mentoring the next generation with hard-earned wisdom. And just recently, he had received the well-deserved honor of being inducted in the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gents, without further ado, let me go and bring on our special guest, the one and only Mr. Joe Smith. Joe, what's going on with you, boss man?
Oh, man, what's going on, Arrington? How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing great. So honored and excited to be talking with you. I've been looking forward to this conversation. First of all, how's everything going with you, boss? Because you look like you can still play. I'm just saying. The man looks like he can still play a few more years.
Like I don't know about going up and down no more, but you know what I'm saying. I get out there and shoot a couple J's though. I still get out there and shoot a couple jumpers, knock those down, but I ain't going up and down the court no more.
You say I'm gonna take it easy. I ain't trying to break no hard sweat no more.
Half court, we good. We good.
Man, I feel you, man. Well, look, I as I mentioned earlier, an amazing career, but I would love to share with the audience, man. Just a little bit about your upbringing, man. Talk about your upbringing. Before basketball happened, man. Where it all started for you.
Man, for everybody don't know, I'm from Norfolk, Virginia. Born and raised here, and the youngest of seven. I grew up, with four sisters, two brothers, single parent home with my mom, taking care of everybody pretty much.
Oh, there we go. Hold on, we cut out a little bit. Say something, Joe. Oh no, hold on, guys. Having a little technical difficulty. I think his mic went mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, hey, there we go.
All right,
there we go. Yep, no, it's all good. So yeah, you were talking about talk about your upbringing, of seven relatives. And from there, I would like to add on, where did the love of basketball start for you? Was that all a part of as far as your youth, growing up with so many siblings? You're just like, hey, look, we have fun, because my father had a lot of siblings as well. I think it might have been, I want to say at least 5 or 6. I want to say maybe 6. Yeah, right.
I mean, all my brothers and sisters were athletes, but I mean, the love of basketball. When I started playing, actually the first sport I played was football. Wow. So I didn't have my growth spurt yet, so I was still a normal, typical height for a kid. So I played football all the way up until I got to high school. Mm-hmm. But when you're young, you try to play multiple sports. So I started both of them about the same age. Of course, football season was first to come up because of where it falls in line as far as the sports seasons go. So right after football season, I jumped right into basketball season. So that's how it went from about 9 years old until my freshman year in high school.
Wow.
So my freshman year in high school, that's when I had my growth spurt, and I just shot up out the door. So I went from about 6'1", 6'2", to about 6'7".
See, I don't like people like y'all. I'm sorry. Because I'm at 5'8" on a good day. If I can actually text me, gonna be like, "You really 5'7"?" I'm like, don't say that so loud. Don't say that so loud. Because like I was talking to you before the show. My brother-in-law also played basketball, right?
Yeah.
And he's around 6'7", 6'8". So, and it's funny, my mother-in-law played college basketball. Everybody on my mother's side were the athletes. So, I mean, my wife's side. So my wife was a collegiate swimmer. My mother-in-law played college basketball. And my father-in-law, I think, played college football. But everybody's tall on that side except for my wife. So I said I was blessed, so that she was shorter than me. But I'm just saying, I'm like, these late growth spurts, I still think I have a chance. And I'm 30.
I don't know if you got a shot no more, guy.
I still try to, you sound like the rest of them. You sound no mess. But so when did you know? Okay, so when did you know that? Okay, basketball, I'm going to pursue this long term, because I'm always curious, when do that says, wait a minute, I could do this. I got what it takes to really,
Right.
at least make it to the collegiate level. I don't want to skip over college, but at least make it, to the collegiate level. When did you know, okay, I can pursue this, at least on the collegiate level?
I mean, the thing about it is, it took me some time to get used to my height, once I had that growth spurt. So it took me about a year or two to kind of, get my clumsiness out of me, to get the clumsiness out of me. So by my junior year in high school, that's when I started getting better. That's when I started seeing noticing my game getting better, and competing against the better talent. As everyone knows, in the Hampton Roads area, what type of talent that we have in this area. So that's when I started, finding myself being able to compete with the better talent and hold my own with them. By my senior year, I was a little notch above that then. Wow. My senior year, coming back from my senior year or leaving my senior year, I felt my game was better than the competition that we were facing all the time. Mm-hmm. But I still had no idea that the NBA was a phase for me, that I was gonna be, that I had a chance, a shot to make it to the NBA. Not until I got to Maryland. Once I got to Maryland, because when I left Norfolk, I was probably when I left Maury High School, I was probably a 4th or 5th team All-American. Wow. So I wasn't really one of those highly ranked guys. Mm-hmm. So when I got to Maryland, man, I had a lot to prove. I wanted to prove that I was
just about to say, that was that almost like a chip on your shoulder, like, okay, hey, they not look, I could do this. I could do this. Was that a good what's the word I'm looking for? Was that great motivation for you, entering into University of Maryland? And again, I just wanted to, to say, and not trying to move it too forward, skip over, but you had mentioned, the top talent that comes out of the Hampton Roads, Virginia area. For our listeners that are, out in, New Orleans, we have listeners all over. The Hampton Roads, Virginia area, specifically the 757 alone, breeds just talented from across the board. Music, business, entertainment, athletes galore. I mean, you have yourself included, along with Allen Iverson. Yeah. I mean, we had athletes like Pernell Whitaker, the late great Pee Wee Whitaker.
No question.
Pound for pound. Michael Vick. I mean, the list goes on and on. D'Angelo Hall, Antoine Bethea. I mean, it's just we have so many, and the list it keeps on going, man.
It keeps going.
It's a huge list, and it's so honored. I'm honored to always look back on the rich history that Hampton Roads does have, because like my father was catching me up with because he's a sports historian. He was a former pro athlete himself in football. He played at NSU, and he was telling me about the I think Virginia Squires. He's like, yeah, Dr. J. I'm like, wait a minute, what? So there's just so much rich history with that. But I ain't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to again share the fact that a lot of people sleep on Hampton Roads when it comes to how great and talented our area is. But okay, so
I don't want me to cut you off, but just to speak on that, I mean, just to think about the draft in 95 and 96 with 2 number 1 picks coming from our area, back-to-back years. And that's something I don't think any other area or any other state can claim.
No, sir.
95, you got myself coming out and going to Golden State. 96, you got Allen going to the Philadelphia 76ers as the number 1 pick. So that's something, I mean, and we've had plenty of other top 5 and top 10 draft picks in all sports. Mm-hmm. Baseball, football, all sports, man. So we have a lot of talent here, and it shows.
Absolutely. You chose. I'm curious because I always love the process when it's kind of like recruiting season. And what school you gonna choose? What made you choose Maryland? And was Maryland initially your top school?
Maryland wasn't initially my top school. Mm-hmm. I grew up. I ain't gonna lie. I grew up a North Tar Heel fan. So what I'm saying, when I was in high school, my goal was to play for the Tar Heels. Man. But they never recruited me. Duke didn't recruit me. All the top schools back then, they didn't, because like I said, I was ranked at as a player leaving out of high school. Mm-hmm. But I always wanted to play in the ACC. I mean, back then, man, the ACC was the best basketball conference in the country.
Wow.
So back then, we had the Carolinas, we had the Dukes. Virginia was nice. Wake Forest was not, like, every team in the ACC was one of the best teams in the country at that time. So I always wanted to play in the ACC. We saw a lot of ACC games here in Virginia. Mm-hmm. So that was another reason that fueled that fire. But I narrowed it down to 5 ACC schools because normally when you're making your decision, they give you the options to visit 5 schools. Mm-hmm. So I narrowed it down to 5 ACC schools. One was Maryland, other one was Virginia, Wake Forest, Florida State, and Georgia Tech. Those are my 5 schools. Wow. So out of those 5, at first, initially, Florida State was my top
Seminoles.
School.
Okay.
Florida State was my top school initially. I sat down with the Maryland coaches, man, and took my visit up to Maryland. And, they really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I could be able to do with that team there. It was a young team that they brought in the year before. We had the recruiting class the year before. We had 3 prime, freshmen that was there before I got there. So they would be sophomores when I got there. Mm-hmm. And then another top freshman coming in alongside myself was Keith Booth. And he was one of the out of Baltimore. He was one of the best players in the country at that time. So we were putting something together that I felt comfortable and felt good about going and be alongside of. Still not knowing what I was going to be able to bring to the table, but it was going to be the way it was. But I mean, it was something that I felt that we had a shot with a young team, young program. We stick together 3 to 4 years that we had a shot to do something big.
That is awesome, man. And you had an amazing collegiate career. I mean, ACC Rookie of the Year in '94, ACC Player of the Year in '95, and then Naismith College Player of the Year in 1995 as well. And the list goes on and on. I mean, UPI College Player of the Year in '95. Let's just say your college career was flat out just unstoppable, right?
Oh, man, appreciate
it. Absolutely. And then here comes the NBA draft. Now, I mentioned earlier, it's only been but 2 players out of the University of Maryland to get drafted at number 1, and you're one of those 2. What was going on in your head where, I mean, your name was called? I'm trying to backtrack because this has always been a question I wanted to ask. Like,
right.
How was that feeling? I mean, how was the feeling just really in that week, like leading into that grand day? How was the nerves feeling? How were you feeling at the time?
I mean, this was probably one of the longest weeks in your life. Because you're right there at the point of being drafted, but still, you have no idea of where. Mm-hmm. So you still that's still up in the air. The fact that you're your life is about to change, that's up in the air. So I mean, there's a lot of emotions that go through your mind, throughout that week. Mm-hmm. My draft was pretty heavy, and nobody, we had no idea of what order anyone would be drafted. Some years you have, your Wemby's and guys like that where they're going to be the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. My year, we had no idea. I mean, it was myself, Rasheed Wallace, it was Kevin Garnett, it was Antonio McDyess, it was Jerry Stackhouse. So we don't get mentioned as one of the top drafts, but our draft was pretty solid. So we had no idea. So even leading up on draft day, I had no idea that I would be the number 1 pick until my name was called. So sitting in the green room all day, getting dressed, and my draft was in Toronto because that was also the first year for the Toronto Raptors.
Okay.
So it was the first time that the draft was out of the country, and in another country. So it was my first time going to Canada. So it was a lot of firsts for me, man. And so it was a great experience, man. And like I said, just sitting in the green room waiting for your name to be called. That's probably one of the longest 5 minutes of your life. Because they give the team 5 minutes to make a choice, and you're sitting there, you're looking around the green room, you got your family at the table, all different players at different tables, and nobody knows whose name is going to be called until it's called. So we all sitting there nervous, trying to play it off as much as we can, but it was a long day.
Now, did the swag change after you left the stage when you were the first number? Because see, now there's a bunch of guys saying, Oh God, then you'd be like, number one, I'm good.
The pimp walk changed a little bit. I was able to strut out of there real quick and easy. But the thing about it is, as you if you drafted that high, then 9 times out of 10 you're not going to leave the arena because you're doing so many interviews and stuff after you get drafted that you're not going to leave the arena till the draft is over anyway. So, but it's good to get your name called and get that out the way.
Now, I would have asked too, Joe. And if it's okay if I call you Joe, I always want to say,
man, yeah, of course. No,
I always say it's like y'all. That's how I was raised. Forgive me.
We family now, bro. We family.
I appreciate it, Joe. Now, okay, first day on the job, right?
Right.
First day on the job. Obviously, the draft night was an historic moment for you, an exciting moment. You had your fun. I know you celebrated the whole 9 yards, but once it's time to go to work, it's like, hey, you number one. Did that give you it? Did that bring a lot of pressure to you to say, okay, look, now I really have to prove myself because folks are already, because like you said, you had to do a lot of interviews. Reporters going to report. They're gonna start gossiping around like, oh, let's see who because they always in all sports, the number one pick has the most eyes locked in on.
No question.
So did that raise a lot of pressure for you as far as day one, of your first day as a pro basketball player in the NBA?
It did. It actually surprised me even more than anything, how much pressure and how much attention that I was getting at that time, being the number one pick. Everyone, whether they want to see you succeed or fail, you have people watching, you have eyes on you. Like you just said, the eye in the sky don't lie.
Nope, it don't.
So you have people watching. So you always want to make sure you try to hold that down as much as you can. I mean, with me, I was brought up on the hard work, what it takes to work hard and the accomplishments and goals you can achieve with hard work. So that part never changed. It was just the fact that I knew I had a target on my back as well. Not just media wise, but from players around the league. They want you to prove that you're the number one pick. They want you to come out there and prove that you was deserving to be that number one pick. So you got that target on your back, and during that time, I had to go against some of the best power forwards in the world. So, I mean, it was like every team, every night. It was a tough power forward on the other side. So, I accepted the challenge. I went in, bust my butt. As hard as I could. My rookie year. Thought I should have won Rookie of the Year, but unfortunately I didn't. But I mean, I thought I had a great rookie year.
Did you have was there someone that played that kind of big brother role for you starting off with Golden State that kind of showed you the ropes, that kind of looked out for you? And if so, who was that person?
I mean, the good thing about me going to Golden State at that time is we had maybe 3 or 4 vets on the team. We still had Tim Hardaway. We still had Chris Mullin. I had Chris Gatlin, Latrell Sprewell. I had guys like that, but Spree really took me under his wing. Latrell Sprewell really took me under his wing. And you're talking about somebody that works hard. I thought I worked hard.
And see, I'm a Knicks fan, so you take it. When you said that, I'm like, I already know.
Yes. I mean, he showed me how to work harder on another level, bro. So he took me under his wing, man. And although we only played two years together, I mean, I learned so much from Spree, just from how to prepare myself in the off season, how to last longer during the season, how to make sure I'm ready on a nightly basis during the season, and it really worked out because load management was not an issue with me. I played pretty much as many games as I could. I think a couple of years I even went 82 games. So, I mean, it just shows that that is a certain mentality that you have, but it's also certain preparation that you have when preparing your body and preparing your mind for that longevity.
Wow. Man. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, y'all, because I have so many questions in my head. Look, I got notes, man. These notes about to go to. I got no notes. Because I'm so like just in awe right now. But look, my friends, I am joining with NBA great Joe Smith here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Do not go anywhere.
Jazera Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at jazeranlearninginstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
Let me tell you something that most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blend sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
All right, family. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I am joining with NBA great Joe Smith. Joe, we've discussed, the upbringing leading to your collegiate level, leading all the way to the NBA. Now let's say, okay, you got a few years in your belt, in the NBA. What was say like a, let's just say here, a memorable moment that went on during your career? So, pop up, just a memorable moment that you will always be like, oh, I don't believe this just happened. It's hard for, for if you have a few. I know in 16 years you probably have, but if you can recall at least a few, please do share with the audience.
I mean, sure. The first one was probably opening night for me. We played the Houston Rockets opening night. It was a year after they just won the championship, so it was ring night it was ring night. So my first game of my NBA career, even though I wasn't getting a ring, I got a chance to experience that, that ring night and how that went down, for a championship team. So, just seeing the banner being rose up, seeing all these guys, come out and get their rings. Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, all those guys, and then after that, having to jump ball against Hakeem Olajuwon. Wow. And, obviously being a huge fan of his, that was the first thing. But, I'm a young guy, so I'm going up there, thinking, oh yeah, I'm about to out jump this guy. I'm about to steal this tap, win this tap. And, show him that I'm here, so referee throw the ball up, and as I'm going up to jump, he shoot me an elbow right on my nose. And he like real vet move. And he tipped the ball. So about the first 15 minutes of the game, I'm trying to get my eyes under control because I get once you get hit in the nose, you can't. Your eyes get the water.
Listen. From you talk to a kid that was always them horse playing with friends. Every time, I don't know why, I just always had to get hit in the nose. I'm like, I still got one right now. And like you said, just a little tap. I always said, I'm no fighter, but if this person hit me and it's the nose, I'm telling you right now, I'm throwing the flag.
So he shot me one in the nose, man. I swear it took me about 10-15 minutes to get myself going again. But that also showed me like there's little things that vets do and guys with basketball experience that they do that they know they can get away with. So I started picking up on them. I started
okay, I got your number.
So then, so I started putting them in my arsenal. So that's one good thing about being, going up against the veterans at that time, picking up things from their game, especially some of the veteran techniques, and adding them to my game. So I was always looking to learn, and that game right there was something that gave me a learning opportunity from the back. My next one would be when Magic came back. I grew up a Lakers fan, Magic Johnson fan. My entire life, I grew up, watching Magic, watching the Lakers. And right before I got drafted, maybe I believe it was 91 or 92, he retired because of the HIV thing. So I always wanted to play against him, and I figured I had a chance to make it to the NBA. The only thing I was regretting was not having the chance to play against Magic Johnson.
Wow.
So a couple years later, he comes back. Comes back to play in the NBA with the Lakers. And it just so happens his first game back is against us in Golden State with the Warriors.
Wow.
They're playing at the Forum, and we're playing at the Forum, and he didn't start the game. So, obviously we're out the game. We're going up and down. We're playing. And all of a sudden, someone gets fouled. So we're standing at the free throw line. I'm standing there ready to box out. And all of a sudden, you just hear rumblings in the crowd like, just hit a roar, just start low. And then it's just, as he's working his way closer and closer to the scores table, it's just getting louder and louder. So I look over my shoulder, and I see he's coming in the game at the scores table. Man, that was like one of the most nervous moments I had as an NBA player, bro. Like, oh my God, this is my idol. I'm about to get my opportunity. So he came in, and he was playing power forward when he came back. So now I have to guard him. So now I have to guard him. So
when he came back, Magic looked like he put on some pounds. I mean, as far as like muscle, he put on some muscle, right? Okay.
He had put on some muscle, put on a lot of muscle. So he came in, and someone's at the free throw line, and he comes in, and I'm there ready to box out, ready in my spot along the lane, and he comes and stands right by me. Man, I don't know if the cameras got my facial expression. I don't know if anybody got my facial expression when that happened, but I know my eyes had to be about this big.
He was like, "You know who you are?" That is awesome.
That's the only fan moment I ever had, though. And that's because, like I said, I grew up a fan. I never thought I always wanted to have an opportunity to share the court with him, whether playing against him or playing on the same team. And when he retired, I never thought I would get that opportunity. But when he came back, man, it was a big thing for me, a big deal. I felt like I was an old Lakers fan again, even though I was on the court with him playing against him. Yeah, so it was that's my second one.
That kind of leads me to three questions, three final questions as far as your career goes. Who was the tough? Because I heard you mention Hakeem Olajuwon. Who was one of the toughest players you had to go against in your 16-year career? Who was one of the toughest players that you had to go up against?
Initially, it was Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp, the Rain Man. Yeah, when he was in Seattle. Him and Gary Payton. I mean, Sean was, everyone knew how athletic he was because you see the dunk highlights. But, I mean, he was probably one of the strongest guys I ever played against. His footwork had great footwork around that basket. He was able to, he knew how to use his body and knew how to get work for position around that basket.
Wow.
That was and with that athleticism that he had, that made him tough.
Wow. Yeah, wow. That's I can believe that.
But like I said, man, it was power forwards everywhere, man. It was, I had to go Charles Barkley. I had to guard Charles Barkley. I had to guard Karl Malone, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Chris Webber, Rasheed. I mean, it was everywhere you look. During my career, it was a power forward, dominant power forward that can get buckets on that team.
Wow, that is. See, now I want to like look back at old highlights. That's what I'm about. I already see, I'm about to be up like looking back at old highlights, man. That is so crazy. Also, I would like to ask too, in your 16-year career, who were some of your say favorite city, not favorite cities, but like one team that or one city that you really, really felt at home? Because I did mention you played with 12 different teams in your career. So like which city did you really feel like, oh yeah, this is it, this is home right here for me?
Minnesota. When I played with the Timberwolves, man, that was some of the best years of my career. Probably not numbers wise, because obviously my first few years I averaged more points. But as far as team wise, man, we the chemistry that we had, the roles that we had, everybody accepted their role and played their roles well. We was winning 50+ games a year, making it to the playoffs every year. And it was a fun group to be around, man. Off the court, we had so much fun together, man. And it was, and you could tell that carried onto the court when we took the court. We could yell and scream at each other. Nobody got offensive. Nobody got offended. And, we can laugh and joke at each other with each other. So, I mean, it was that type of brotherhood, man. And that's the type of brotherhood that, that great teams have. And
that's awesome.
I was fortunate to be on that team in Minnesota, and we had that type of brotherhood.
Now, last question. Now, you had the distinct honor of, playing alongside with LeBron James,
yes,
as well as Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
As far as, we always hear the GOAT conversation. Who's the GOAT? MJ, LeBron. But to me, I feel like they slipping when they leave out Kobe, in my opinion. Both of them, don't get me wrong. MJ, changed the game. LeBron changed the game, but they really missing out on Kobe.
I'm trying to remember, when did he fall so far? When did he fall so far down the list? I mean, it's like I don't know when.
I'm trying to remember when people forget that this man scored 60 points in his last game. Like, I'm like, people forget, like, even though you did see some guys say, look, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
But like, I'm still trying to figure out, like, and like you said, when did he fall off? Well, this is kind of a two-part question then. In your opinion, who is your version of the GOAT, and then who's in your Mount Rushmore, NBA Mount Rushmore?
Okay. I would go with I got two GOATs.
Okay, that's fine. That's perfect.
Because of the errors, because of the errors, I got two GOATs. I got MJ, 80s and 90s. Then I got LeBron carrying the torch from then on. So I got two GOATs. LeBron, I obviously love because he reminds me of my favorite player, Magic, a lot. The way he plays and how he's able to get everybody involved and how smart he is with the game. MJ is just MJ. There's no no debating, no disputing what he did throughout his career with the Bulls. And a lot of people would think that if he wouldn't have walked away for 2 years, that he probably would have had eight straight instead of six. Six total. So I mean, it's hard to dispute that. As far as Mount Rushmore, I will have to stick with my lifetime now, because I know a lot of people like to go back, but I don't.
No, that's cool.
I know my history,
Will
but
Chamberlain
I wasn't there to see those
Will
guys
Chamberlain
play.
#1 for me. He the true GOAT. I'm like,
Right.
I understand. He scored 100 points. I get it. No,
but my five is the names three of the names you just named: Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, and I'm putting Shaq in there. Yeah, I got to put Shaq in there. Shaq was probably the most dominant force. I mean, I know they talk about Wilt, but I got a chance to see Shaq, and I had to guard Shaq in a couple playoff series. So
I I know that was a sore night the day after, man. Shaq
like the
big
thing
dude.
about it, the thing about it is it didn't work. It didn't work the way we thought it would work.
Mm-hmm.
Like the goal was for me to be able to spread the floor on the offensive end, get him away from the basket because I was able to knock down the 15, 17 foot jump shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then defensively, we gonna swarm the paint on him.
Mm.
But all the fighting I had to do with that guy on the defensive end, I was shooting bricks like a mug on the offensive end. I couldn't buy a basket on the offensive end, so it didn't work in our favor the way we thought. But I mean, we still gave him a heck of a series.
Man, awesome. Well, look, we have about 15 minutes to our conversation, man. I want to, discuss, as I mentioned, in the beginning, man. You had an amazing career. You had some ups, had some downs, and I do want to talk about that. That moment. It has been, shared publicly that you hit kind of some financial struggles, right? Post career, you made over 60 million, in your 16-year career, and then it has been said that you had at the lowest in the thousands that left in your account.
Right.
I want to ask, man, like when I would say where did this start for you? Where what was the cause of this of this kind of fall hiccup? I'll say a hiccup.
Right.
I won't say a fall because you're still here, you're still doing great stuff. But this hiccup, what happened? How did this all start for you?
I mean, first it started by me not taking for granted what I was making and keeping my eye on it. A lot of times, I just let things. I put a lot of trust in a lot of people that I thought had my best interest. So I just never really double check. Never really looked twice at what they was doing and what they was telling me. So I'm thinking that everything they're telling me is up to par and legit. So I put a lot of trust in a lot of people, financial agents that really thought I had my best interest, but making bad investments and doing things like that was draining the pot instead of, adding to it. Also, just taking for granted the fact that you have another year to go. I mean, towards the end of my career, everybody wants to play another 2-3 years. So I'm thinking I got another year or two left, and to kind of recoup a lot of the stuff that I lost through investments and things like that. But unfortunately, my last year we went right into a lockout. So the lockout kept me from, guys of a certain age from re-signing because, obviously teams are looking for younger talent at that point. So, I mean, I went through a tough divorce at that same time, right at the end of my career. I went through a tough divorce to where I lost a lot of it too. Wow. So, I mean, it was a lot of things, that, I look back on, and a lot of it that I take, that I know it was my fault, because of the things that the things that I took for granted and things that I wasn't doing. So, I mean, it's a lesson learned, a lesson that, I'm hoping to help as many people not go through what I went through. But it was, it was tough. I mean, it was tough, and not just the losing the money, but the game just stopped.
Yeah.
Something that you worked so hard for, something that you love to do, just comes to an end, just stops on you, and then you just left like, what now? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No. And then from that point, you're just trying to figure things out and figure your next moves out. And some of us are set up for our next moves, and some of us, have to figure it out. And I was one of those ones that had to figure it out.
And what advice could you give, that, next up and coming, and not even next up and coming, those that are currently in the league? Because I feel as though, with your story is not, foreign. We've heard that story similar to, other athletes where, again, you have to realize, these are young people that all of a sudden in the blink of an eye becomes, instant millionaires. It's difficult to manage and be, especially, for those that don't come from, from much, and you all of a sudden you have all this access.
Right.
What advice could you, give out to those, because we see now where it's like, athletes, especially I always say, specifically pro football players, where your career is never promised in the sport of football, just because, hey, look, your career continues to become, the average is 2 years, 1 year, 3 year, injury can always, but they spending it like water, man. They still spending like, and they think like that stuff is, hey, this is guaranteed, so I'm good. What advice could you, share for those out there that thinks, hey, they got it out, it's all good, and they don't need to, listen to anybody. They just gonna keep on, doing what they doing, and they, their job is guaranteed.
The thing about sports and professional sports or any sport is it's going to end one day. It comes to an end one day. Unless you're LeBron, you're just going to 40. You just keep going into your 40s. But for everybody else, it's going to end, and it's normally going to end in your 30s. And from 30 to, let's say you live to 80, you have that long. You have those 50 years to live. And you have to understand that you have to have the finances to live those 50 years. You did a great job. And as you're going through your career and you're stacking your money, you always keep in mind that I have a longer life after this career, after my basketball career is done. It could be, like you said, it could be done tomorrow.
Yeah.
So now I have 60 years to, I could be 20 years, and I got 60 years to live until, off this money, and try to figure out how to work this money and make it stack. So you got to remember that once this game is over, you still got a long life ahead of you to live and try to, maintain a lifestyle, especially if you want to maintain a lifestyle that you've been living.
I know that's right. Well, look, I want to forward it to today, to the present, man. There's so many amazing things happening in your career, in your life right now. Recently, you was inducted in the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, a well-deserved honor. Again, as we mentioned earlier, a huge amount of folks that have been inducted. I mean, the greatest of the greats, and you are now one of those greats, man. So I just want to congratulate you on that recently induction. And I'm looking at my time. I got about a little less than 6 minutes. I want to talk about your academy, the Joe Smith Basketball Academy, man. Tell us all about it.
I mean, Joe Smith Basketball Academy is something I started out in California when I retired. Like I said, it was during that time where I was trying to figure out my next move. So I wanted to get back to the game of basketball. I always wanted to stay around the game of basketball. And just watching the way the youth are being trained and developed, and the skills of the youth today, I thought, it'll be a great spot for me to be able to come in and try to mentor and help these youth develop the right way. I don't think right now they're being taught and develop the game the right way, and that's limiting a lot of our youth and how far they can go. So right now, I got the Joe Smith Basketball Academy. I do skills development. I do training. I do mentoring. And I'm also now partnered with Davidson Technology Solutions. And this is and this gives kids another option, for those athletes that love sports, but may not feel like they're good enough to play sports, but want to do some things behind the scenes, or some technology stuff behind the scenes, as far as commentating, reporting, and things like that.
Wow.
We're teaching, we're bringing those lessons as well. So it's all about building these kids and showing them different options, different avenues besides what they see on a daily basis.
I love it. I just put up y'all his website, joesmithbasketballacademy.com. Okay, joesmithbasketballacademy.com. Please check it out. I think that's awesome, Joe, because for one, you're opening to more doors other than, I mean, hey, look, still learning the game, but also learning, what's going to help post wise. Look, there's always great, when it comes to, because technology will be here. We live in a tech savvy world, right? Technology will be here in the long run. It is the future, and I think that's so dope. I also put up here for those who are watching right now. You have a basketball camp happening. Want to make sure I have the dates correct. Let's see, June. You see right there, July 7th through the 11th, boys and girls ages 8 to 12. We also have July 21st through the 25th. Boys and girls ages 13 through 18. All the information is right there. I'll share this also on my social media. Again, you get to learn the skills from the one and only Mr. Joe Smith. Fam, I just want to thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I truly enjoy this conversation. I wish it can go longer, man. Please don't be a stranger. Please do not be a stranger. And again, congrats on your whole career, everything you're doing. Because one thing I love is about is when you can teach the up and coming, like, hey, look,
yes,
don't think again, I'll follow. No, I have risen, and I'm continue to build it up. And again, the academy is doing great stuff here in the Hampton Roads area, and I know abroad. What's next for Joe Smith, man? I know there's a lot more probably on your plate that you want to pursue. What's next, right? I mean, more coaching, you want acting, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Shoot, I don't mind doing a little acting.
I ain't mentioned about the music career. I was gonna mess with you at the end. I ain't mentioned about the music, but I'm just saying, who would you like to, any things you want to pursue in the future?
I mean, right now, we're still focused on the academy and the launch of the academy. But no question. I mean, we're working on a podcast right now called Enough Said. And we're actually shooting our first episode the start of June.
Okay, awesome.
So, we're shooting our first episode the start of June. The first couple of episodes obviously going to be about the things that I've been through. I'm really going to deep detail about some of the stuff that I experienced, good, bad, the ugly. Like we really going to deep detail, and then we're just going to keep going with that, keep building the podcast. We're doing some things over here at Norfolk State University for the fall.
Behold the green and gold. I got to shout out.
Yes. We got some stuff working on in the fall over here as far as programming stuff where I'm actually out there broadcasting some of the and commentating for some of the games and stuff. They're going to have a setup in the end zone, kind of like the Pat McAfee type feel. I mean, we got some stuff in the works, man, this summer, and I'm just looking forward to it. Things have been going in a positive way, man, and I'm excited about it.
Well, I can't wait. I'm like I said, you're talking to a true fan, Joe. And I mean, like I said, the fact that I'm calling you on first, I'm over here about to say, I'm about to brag to my homies, like, yo. So I was talking to Joe, right? Y'all might have heard, my wife gonna look at me like, yeah, right. You think you're all that, but honestly, no, I truly appreciate the convo and all the great stuff, and I'm looking forward to that podcast too, man. Here on this program, we love hearing about upcoming shows and podcasts. So we love for cross promote, love to bring you back on and talk more about some your podcast and all the great stuff you have going on. But again, I truly appreciate it, Joe Smith. Ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Joe, don't go anywhere. I know I want to chop it up with you just a couple minutes after the show, so I'm going to take you on backstage. But again, I want to thank Mr. Smith, Joe Smith, NBA great Joe Smith, for coming here on the show. So let me go and put him on backstage. Family, as always, I always give you great conversations. Like, I ain't trying to brag or nothing, right? But I tell you, when I have good conversations, man, I'm telling you, this is great conversation. And I didn't want it to end. But I hope y'all enjoyed. Continue to tune into the Arrington Gavin show. Again, we drop episodes weeknights, available on all digital and streaming platforms. Be sure to tune into us on the radio airwaves in the New Orleans area by way of WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about. Again, Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time. You can also listen to us in the Metro Atlanta area by way of WDJY 99.1 FM. Straight Talk, Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, you can listen to the program available on all major podcast platforms, streaming platforms, the whole 9 yards. Look, peace and blessings, y'all. I will talk to y'all soon. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.